Hey, welcome back. Let's solve LeetCode 509, Fibonacci number. The Fibonacci numbers, commonly denoted f of n, form a sequence called the Fibonacci sequence, such that each number is the sum of the two preceding ones starting from 0 and 1. And here's the base case. So the 0th Fibonacci number gives the value 0. The first Fibonacci number gives the value 1. And for every succeeding Fibonacci number after 1, right, where n is greater than 1, as I mentioned, that Fibonacci number is equal to the value of the previous Fibonacci number plus the value of the second previous Fibonacci number, okay? So given n, calculate f of n. And here's the example one here. When n is equal to 2, that Fibonacci number is 1, right? The value is 1, I should say. When n is equal to 3, the value is 2. When n is equal to 4, the Fibonacci value is equal to 3. Here are the constraints. So n is greater than or equal to 0, and it's less than or equal to 30. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet of me solving the Fibonacci number, go ahead and watch that, because part 1 was bottom-up dynamic programming, right? And this approach here will be using top-down programming, okay? So let me go ahead and label this here. So dynamic programming, right? So this time we'll be using, right? And top-down dynamic programming is a HashMap. That's all it is, okay? So here's the Fibonacci number recursion tree, right? When n is equal to 5, okay? And let's go ahead and do the walkthrough with this code I have here so I can explain the details, okay? So I have this call stack here because we'll be using recursion, right? So let's get into it. So when we call this function, n is equal to 5, right? I'm just following along here. Okay, so we have a cache here. So do this line. If n is in the cache, well, this cache is empty, so we don't hit this case. If n is equal to 0, so let me label this as well. So when n is equal to 5, right? Okay, so this case doesn't hold, this case doesn't hold, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna call the depth first. We're gonna go ahead and call recursive call with n minus 1, and that will be equal to left, okay? So let me go ahead and plug this into the call stack here. So I'll just white here, and I'll abbreviate Fibonacci with fib, okay? So we pass in fib with 4 in there, okay? So now we're back inside the recursive call, right? Where n is equal to 4, okay? So 4 here. And as you notice, now we're at this level of the tree. And let me go ahead and label that as well. So I'll just use this here. All right, great. So we were here at the initial call, now we're here, okay? All right, great. So if it's in the cache, well, 4 is not in the cache, right? This cache is empty. So we don't hit this case. We know n is not equal to 0, n is not equal to 1. Well, we're back with the recursive call with n minus 1. So we put that onto the function call stack because we're using recursion, right? And now we're at fib of 3, right? Okay, so we're over here now, and we are back inside the recursive call. Fib of 3, well, this case doesn't hold because this cache is still empty. This case doesn't hold, this case doesn't hold. We continue on with another recursive call. So we're gonna come down here now, okay? And that's gonna look something like this in the call stack, where n is now equal to 2, okay? Well, we know this case does not hold, this case doesn't hold, nor does this case hold, so we continue on with the recursive call, and we're gonna be here now. So that would be fib of 1, okay? And now n is equal to 1, right? Okay, so what happens here? It's gonna get more interesting, right? Well, we still know that there's nothing in the cache, n is not equal to 0, but n is equal to 1, right? So we do this case, okay? So we return 1. So I will go ahead and plot a 1 here. So this is a 1, okay? And since we returned 1, so this here returned a 1, okay, and I have it labeled here. So this gets popped off the call stack. We're done with it because it returned something, okay? And what called fib of 1? Fib of 2 called it, right? So we're coming back to fib of 2. So let me erase this. Okay. So fib of 2 went left to get us this fib of 1, which returned the value 1, right? Because that's the base case, okay? So now that means that this here is done. That left call is done. So now we go to the right, okay? So fib of 2 is going to go inside the recursive call now. So let me erase this. And we're going to put into, well, actually, no, let me keep that. Yeah. And I'll check mark to denote that it's done. So this is done. And remember, we're going back here, which this is going to call the right subtree, where n minus 2, okay? So this will be fib of 0, okay? So we are here now, right? And this is a 0 now, okay? And what happens here? Well, we don't hit case, we hit this case, right? Because n is equal to 0, you see that right there. So we return 0. So this here returns a 0, right? Okay, great. And now, notice how we return a 0. So this is complete now. And this is popped off the call stack because we've completed it. And what called fib of 0? Fib of 2, okay? So fib of 2 now just got returned well, we have to update the cache first. So fib of 2, so cache of 2 is equal to left plus right. Left was 1, left returned the value 1, right returned the value 0, right? So I can update our hash map to have fib of 2 returned 1, okay? All right. And we update the cache and we're going to return it, okay? So fib of 2, right, is equal to left plus right, which I said is 1. So I'll just update the tree so we can see it in clear time. So 1 plus 0, fib of 2 gives us a 1, right? Because 1 plus 0, okay? All right, great. All right, nice. So now fib of 2 is complete. We have just finished it, okay? So what called fib of 2? Fib of 3, okay? So let me label this, fib of 2 is done. Fib of 3 called it, so let me pop off fib 2 from the call stack. And now we're at fib of 3, so we're back up here. And we ask ourselves, is 3 in the cache? It's not, okay. Well, n is not equal to 0, right? N is not equal to 1, right? What did that return? Well, it returned us a 1, right? It returned 1. So this call is done, okay? Because remember, fib of 3 called fib of 2, and that's the left call, okay? That's this left call here. I'm crossing out again. So now we naturally go to the right call, okay? So fib of 3 now is going to call fib of 1. So let me update this. So this needed here, and then now it's here, okay? So fib of 1. Oh, and I realized I made a mistake. I didn't make a mistake, but I forgot to update this here in the cache. So please bear with me. So this was supposed to be a 1, which returned a 1, right? Okay, so we're good there. That's important because when here, so if n is in the cache, well, it's equal to a 1 right now, right? This 1 of 1, is that in the cache? It is, okay? So we return cache of n, which is 1, right? Cache of 1 gives us the value 1, okay? So we don't have to do extra work here anymore, okay? So we immediately see it's in the cache, so we return it, which gives us a 1 here, okay? All right? So now that we return it, what called fib of 1? Well, fib of 3 did, okay? So I can go ahead and delete this here. And fib of 3, this guy, remember, so so fib of 3 is equal to left plus right, right? So I'm gonna update our cache here. I'm just doing this logic here. So cache is equal to 3 left plus right is 2, right? Because 1 plus 1 gives us a 2. So this becomes a 2 because we're just adding, right? Just adding here. And okay, so far so good. What called fib of 3? Well, fib of 4 did, right? I'm just following the call stack. So let me go ahead and pop this off, and I'll update this here. Fib of 3. And now we are at fib of 4, right? Because completed fib of 3. And fib of 4 called fib of 3, which was the left, right? So it called this entire left tree, okay? And so that means that this is done because obviously 4 is not in the hash map. So we never did this case. So 4 is not in the cache. 4 is not equal to 0. 4 is 1. And the left call was finished, right? This was the left call. So now we go to the right call, okay? So on the call stack now, we pass in fib of 2. Spoiler alert, right? Because we know that fib of 2 is in the cache. So we're gonna hit this case immediately. So what did fib of 2 return us? Well, fib of 2 returned us a 1, right? We can clearly see it here. So I can go ahead and just delete this immediately and know that fib of 4 on the right side will get us the value of 2, right? Because we don't have to go explore this recursive call, because that's why we have the hash map, this cache, right? That's the whole point of dynamic programming, top down, using a cache, right? Okay, so now for itself, what does it get? It gets the value of left plus right, okay? So left is a 2, right is a 2. So 4 is the fourth Fibonacci number. 1 second, so, oh, my apologies. I don't know why I have a 2 here when it's clearly a 1, okay? Sorry about that, guys. So this is a 1. Yeah, that makes more sense, okay? Because 2 plus 1 gives us 3, okay? Yeah, it makes sense because the fourth Fibonacci number here is 3. Just like you see the fourth Fibonacci number gives us the value 3, okay? All right, great. So that means that we are complete here with the 4 call. So let me go ahead and do this here. And what did we originally call? Well, we originally called, and I forgot to add that original call in the call stack, but we originally called this with 5, right? Just like I have it labeled here, I just forgot to add it here. Okay, so this was originally yeah, so what called fib of 4? Well, fib of 5 did, right? And that was the left call, okay? So that means we have completed this here. So now we go to the right call, which I can now delete this from the call stack. And the right call is equal to, it's equal to the end of Fibonacci minus 2, right? So we're gonna put onto our call stack fib of 3. Okay, so now we have a 3 in here. We are inside of the recursive call again, and we immediately say, okay, if n is in the cache, return cache of n, okay? So fib of 3, is that in the cache? It is, right, with the value of 2, so we're gonna return that. So we're gonna return a 2. So this gives us a 2, and notice how we didn't have to go explore everything because that's the point of the cache, because we already did that work here. So we're just reusing it, okay? And since that returned us the 2 here, go ahead and, so now we've completed this right call, right? Because we just took the value from the cache, okay? All right, so now we say cache of n, which is fib of 5 is equal to left plus right. Okay, what's left? Well, it gave us the value 3. What's right? It gave us the value 2. So the fifth Fibonacci number is equal to 5, just like we expect in the output here, and just like how we see here with the Fibonacci number sequence. And we are done now, okay? So this is complete, and we pop everything off the cache, or not the cache, the function call stack. And that is the solution, right? So let's head on over to LeetCode and let me code this out. Okay, so we need a cache. So I'll go ahead and say cache is equal to this dictionary here. And the base case, well, not the base case yet. Let's first check if this nth Fibonacci number is in our cache. So if it's in self.cache, right? Because we're doing object-oriented programming here in Python. If it's the self.cache, well, let's just go ahead and return what the value is, okay? So we're gonna return self.cache of n, okay? All right, and then the base case now, if n is equal to 0, so if n is equal to 0, what do we return? Well, we just simply return 0, right? Because the 0th Fibonacci number, the value is 0. If n is equal to 1, what do we return? We return 1, right? Because the first Fibonacci number, the value is 1. So now we're going to go ahead and call the recursive call. So self.fib, we're going to pass in n minus 1, right? And then we're going to call the recursive call again on the right child, which is the recursive call with n minus 2, okay? And then we're going to store in the cache the nth Fibonacci number is equal to left plus right, okay? That's just the formula, right? The current Fibonacci number, as long as the Fibonacci number is greater than 1, right, is equal to the previous Fibonacci number's value plus the second previous Fibonacci number's value. And then we have to return the value of what we cache, of that nth Fibonacci number. So let's test this out. Okay, so it looks like so cache of, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot to do self.cache, and then over here I need a self.cache as well. All right, let's test it now. Okay, great, it passed the initial test cases. Let's submit this. And it has a working solution. So let's go discuss the time and the space here, okay? So the time complexity is equal to big O of n, right? Because notice how n is equal to 5. How many iterations or recursive calls effectively did we do? We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because this was in the cache, so we didn't have to explore. This was in the cache, we didn't have to explore. This was in the cache, we didn't have to explore, right? So the space, though, is also big O of n, right? Because we only stored n of the recursive calls in the cache. Or sorry, I keep saying cache. In the call stack, right? This function call stack, and it released, okay? Whenever we return, we release what's in the call stack. So at peak, though, this is a big O of n. It matches the time, okay? So as always, whatever platform you're on, like, comment, subscribe, follow, and I'll catch you in the next one.